here's my purchase price, here's my rehab, here's what the value is, this is how much I'm going to make. Bull, you know what?
Yeah.
Because you're looking at taxes, insurance, closing costs, realtor fees, utility bills. I mean, you name it.
Welcome to Highballers, where we hold nothing back, talking all things real estate and real estate investing.
What's up, guys? Welcome to our first edition of our Highballers podcast, where we're going to talk all things real estate. I'm Matt Merrill, along with Josh Harmon.
Joshua Harmon, don't introduce me. I'm Joshua Harmon, Senior. I don't want his intro. Senior.
Awesome, man. We appreciate you. We're excited to do this. We've been waiting to do this, kind of been in the works now for, I guess, about a month or two. We've been talking about this, so we're pumped up. And between me and Josh, I think we can sit here and talk real estate all the time. So, Josh, tell us a little about yourself.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. You're so selfless. I appreciate it.
That's right.
So I'm a principal broker and owner of Harmon Real Estate Company. We sell residential, commercial. I started off selling apartment complexes exclusively, and I think that's how me and Matt actually met while he was still in the banking industry. So we always have really good conversations surrounding real estate. So it just made sense to do a podcast. Yeah. So I'm excited, man.
Man, me too. Matt Merrill owned 2M Investments here based out of Fort Smith, Arkansas. I was in banking for a while, like Josh said. I got into investing in real estate, and it kind of really grew from there, and we built the team out in our offices, and we're continuing to grow and get into a little bit of property management, owning real estate, wholesaling, flipping, kind of just run the whole gamut of real estate. Also, we're fixing to get a mobile home park, apartment complexes, etc. So, like I said, we're happy to do this. We I think between us both, we really covered most of all angles of real estate, so that's why we're excited to do this, and we got some questions ready to go for our first episode here.
Yeah, and first and foremost, he introduced the podcast. I don't know if he did it justice or not. And if y'all get a kind of an idea of our synergy, I always give him crap about everything.
That's how it's going to be, and it's probably going to be that way every episode.
But one thing about this podcast, we are going to give you the real about these topics. So when you ask these questions, first and foremost, we need you guys to participate every week. Give us some questions to ask. That way we can continue to give you guys valuable content. But at the end of the day, we're going to give you the real about these topics. A lot of times when you're on YouTube, when you listen to other podcasts, they're kind of giving you these hypothetical situations. We've been in a lot of these situations, or we've represented somebody who's dealt with these situations. So we're able to give you the real of house flipping, wholesaling, apartments, syndication. I mean, pretty much everything. So
we'll give you the brutal honesty. Something a lot of people don't do is tell you the problems or the things you may incur as you start a real estate investing business or you get into real estate investing, because what you see on my Facebook page, you don't see a lot. You don't see a lot of the problems. Yeah. And maybe one day I'll do some talking about it, but on this podcast we definitely will, and we're open to any questions. Ask us whatever it may be, and what things you can incur, and what I've experienced or Josh has experienced through real estate, and what we've seen. So we're going to be brutally honest through this whole thing, and won't hold anything back. And this is live, uncut, raw, and you're getting, what you see is what you get. We're not cutting or editing this at all. So
let's get into it. First question, let's do it.
So we got our first question today. At what point do you decide to hire a management company to handle your rental properties? Josh, I'll let you start, and then I can go into it because I'm in the middle of that right now.
Yeah. So to give myself give you guys some more context about me, I've sold right around 400 rental units over the past 16 to 18 months. I can't really figure out that start date, but I've dealt with all types. So people own duplexes, some people own just 100 units. I mean, all kind of spectrums of ownership. And you'll know when it's time for you to start managing your own portfolio. But I will tell you, you need at least 50. I mean, you shouldn't even be talking about it if you have anything other than 50, because you don't understand what goes into property management. Like, you think you know more than a property management company, but the legalities of leases, evictions. I mean, it's just so much that you don't know. And you taking on your own property management and trying to do it on yourself, on your own, could get you in a lot of trouble. Now, the opposite side of that, if you listen to a lot of podcasts, they'll tell you need to start off managing your own stuff so you can understand everything and hold your property manager accountable. And that can work out for you. But the adverse effect of what I think is that you'll probably get yourself into some trouble and lose a lot of money. I think you should just hire a property management company, somebody who's reputable, and learn from them. And if you feel like you could take it over, at that point, then maybe look at it around 50 units or so.
So I'll kind of do my 3-step process into. I've been in every part of this.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you,
and I've seen it too.
I'll tell you, managing myself, like just me trying to do it, didn't last very long at all. I started with an apartment complex. That one, it was out of my range because it was in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So I did hire property management. When I sold that, I restarted all over again. And I bought 12 units to start and was full on, going to do it myself, be efficient, save money. I made it 3 days where I woke up in the middle of the night and said, screw it.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it. Yeah. And so I had a great relationship with a property management company here based out of Fort Smith. Got them going, and we ended up growing within, I would say, 14 months from buying that first 12 units to now we have over 70 and working on another 26 right now as well. And so when we hit 70, I decided to go in-house since we already have a real estate office with investing and all that. So I decided to go out, seek an experienced property manager at a different company, pull them over.
Stolen.
That's right. That's right. And hiring is key. You know, maybe we'll talk about this at some point in one of our episodes. The first one, she had to move away, different job, or her husband had a different job, so we hired a new one. She's been excellent so far, and it's really been the key to managing, because if you lose that person, you're in trouble. Now you're stuck with, you know, in our case, 70 units that we're not equipped to handle. You know,
because pull Crystal, who's more suited somewhere else, like
and
on a higher level.
And she operations admin, and she can't. I know she can't handle it. I couldn't do it. I'd just run away. Yeah. And so, but what Josh was saying, you get a property management company to come in, you learn what to look for. And, you know, if you manage them yourself starting off and then you look at reports, you actually understand what those reports are saying, because you can get screwed if you don't do it right and you don't understand. That's right. So that's really key. So, you know, he's right. The 50 units, if we wouldn't have bought a package to get to 70, 50 would have been about our number to go in-house. And we become more efficient. And now we control our, expenses and what we put into the properties, and we don't have to go through a process and a system. We can get it done now. We can take care of our tenants now. Yeah. And so it's been really great controlling the rents and how we go about that. So
Matt and I, we're still in our early stages. He probably don't want to say his age. I'm 27.
32.
Okay, he's 32. He's young. We're very young. We're in our growth stages. Mm-hmm. It doesn't make sense for Matt himself right now at this moment to take on his property management himself. Mm-hmm. Now, he has a team in place. The question was, when should I take it over?
That's right.
Like him, himself, or her herself take over her own property management. Yeah. And as an investor, your number one priority should be scaling your business. Mm-hmm. And that's not managing what you have, but that's acquiring new properties, finding new leads, building new relationships. You can't when you're spending 5 hours a day managing.
2 words: opportunity cost.
Yeah.
You lose out on opportunity cost on finding more deals and growing your business when you're trying to get it stuck in wasting something that's not actually bringing in the revenue. Yeah. You hire somebody, you may pay for them, but you're actually bringing in more money and you're going to become more efficient. Your bottom line is going to look better in the end. Yeah. So it's really
somebody would be calling us right now. We're in our Harmon Real Estate Company office. For whatever reason, somebody thought their phone call was more important than this podcast.
Well, I mean, the mail came in a while ago. What are they thinking? I have no idea. Maybe we get a podcasting session out there on the door. So, hopefully you got a good idea on that, with the property management side. And so, same question. I got this through Facebook. How to quickly and efficiently estimate a rehab for either your flip or potential rental property. So, that's a big question I get all the time. Yeah. So,
let me answer this one first.
You got it.
Because he's gonna dive deep into this one. The thing that scares me about this question, a lot of people want to get into house flipping, wholesaling, and not talking about ownership and investing and building equity. Mm-hmm. They're trying to figure out the easy way or the quick way or the cheap way to do these deals. Mm-hmm. The best way to do it is build relationships with banks and build relationships with hard money lenders, or have your own money. That's the easy answer to the question. Now, he's going to give you some creative ways where you can do this, and you can get some money this way, blah, blah. But I'm going to tell you, it scares me that a lot of people want to get into flipping, wholesaling, and they don't have any money. They don't have any relationships. And they want to go out and, flip all these properties and make profit. You coming from a place of, scarcity and just not really understanding the business already. Like, that shouldn't even be the question you're asking.
Yeah.
To be quite honest. But go ahead, you can have.
So we're talking about money for them. You know, having to estimate rehabs because you're going to need all that.
Yeah.
And when you're going to go into flipping, or what they call it, they go into later the BRRRR strategy.
Yeah.
You know, whether you're going to keep it as a rental, you still need to know what your rehab costs are for the end financing, your back end financing, or how much cash you need from your whatever. Maybe it's your savings, or your 401k you're pulling from, or somebody you're using a hard money lender like Josh talked about. So we'll talk about the rehab first. So the rehab. It's tough, and what I'm fixing to tell you is not your end-all, be-all on your rehab cost estimator. This is an initial rehab cost to make an offer.
Yeah.
You could always go in and renegotiate. You get an inspection. You always you put your 10-day inspection on there. Always go in there and renegotiate if there become bigger rehab than you thought. So good rule of thumb in our market. So we'll say Midwest region because their costs are pretty similar in the Midwest region and the South until you get down to Texas. And so. You go in and you've got a full-on gut rehab. You've got to, replace everything really from gut showers, bathrooms, kitchen, whatever it may be. You're looking at a good rule of thumb between $35 and $45 a square foot. It's like I said, don't hold me to these. These are just basic numbers to get you going. So $35 to $45 a square foot. Based on what you're wanting to do with the house, how fancy, how nice you want to make it. You want to put granite in the kitchen, or you want to just put linoleum, or we use marble a lot. And so then you go down to the next tier down. So you don't have to gut, but you're going to replace some bathrooms. You're going to replace a kitchen. Now you're looking at $25 to $30 a foot. And you kind of save on that demo and labor that you got and trash outs and all that stuff that you need to do. So 25 to 30 there, and then you're talking, really lipstick, flooring, paint, exterior work, maybe some siding or some guttering, the landscaping. Now you're looking at $15 a foot, $10 to $15, good rule of thumb. It's hard. Anything less than $10 a foot, good luck. I mean. You're going to say that in your head, then you're going to get going. There's always going to be something because your margin, you're so low margin on that percentage. So that's kind of a good rule of thumb. And then what we did starting off is I wasn't banking. Yeah. So I got creative on my flips. And that's how I was able to start my company and go is we use cash. I use private money. It wasn't my own money. I used private money to go pay cash for properties. And then I would give my estimates to the banks. They would do a back-end refinance on my ARV, which is after repair value. It's what your final product is going to be valued at, and then I get that money. So you get your purchase price back to pay your lender back. You get your rehab cost, and then you get your front-end profit. And so you choose what you always put that back in your reserve. That's not something you need to go and you let the house sell, and then you evaluate your property and your money. But you get your front end profit, you get the house done, whether it's 2 to 3 months, you get it sold, so 6-month process maybe, and then you get your back end profit, you put that together, do a full evaluation of your property, and now you can really see what you can put back for taxes. You got all kinds of things when you're flipping properties. Yeah. And so holding cost. People always forget about holding costs. You want to talk about making a mistake? That's where I screwed up. Yeah. People say, if you see people on YouTube or Facebook or whatever, Instagram, and they say, hey, here's my purchase price, here's my rehab, here's what the value is, this is how much I'm going to make. Bull, you know what? Yeah. Because you're looking at taxes, insurance, closing costs, realtor fees, utility bills. I mean, you name it. Those are add up fast if you got a property sitting on the market for 3 or 4 months.
Broken window for somebody seeing a vacant house.
And I've had that. I've had 2 broken windows. As a matter of fact, we had a house near this market right here that had that. So always account for that as well. But hard money lenders like Josh talked about, we partnered with some that do a lot of our deals. And they close those things within 10 days. They're really great. They get a bad rap. But you build a relationship with them and you can get really great terms and quick closings. Yeah. And so they'll, banks, your typical commercial bank, they don't love flip properties.
No.
I'm going to tell you right now. You got one going with them, good luck getting another one. You're going to move to a different bank. Or
Community
something,
banks
so.
are more.
That's right. That's right. Your local community that you built a relationship. Credit unions are great interest rates, terms, so they're really good.
So,
and they're really good for.
I wanted to let you dive deep into that topic because this is what he does, and he had to learn all this stuff on his own.
Yeah.
I mean, Matt has a lot of connections, and that's how he was able to do, get the Harmon lending. But to be honest, nobody taught you how to do this stuff. It was masterminds. It was making mistakes. It was, hey, my flips aren't working. Now I need to do rent to own on this to make it work. Like these are things you need to understand if you get in house flipping because they don't always work out easy. I mean, this isn't HGTV. This is
it is not.
It's not that.
Don't ever think it is. Enjoy the show, watch it. It's fun. It's cool to see their ideas. But they have unlimited budgets and a TV crew and a TV channel and an organization backing them and what their production is. Yeah. So don't ever factor that in and don't spend that kind of money on houses around here.
Yeah, and to get back to the question when he was asking about just estimating costs and different things like that, the most important thing is having a team, having a contractor, having a plumber, having an electrician, having a realtor, having a title company, having an entire team, figuring out what the utilities cost. Hey, asking the seller, what were your average utility costs? These are all questions that you need to ask and people need to have on your team. That way you don't have to know everything. Do y'all think that the biggest real estate investors know everything? They don't.
Hell no.
The most important thing for them is building relationships and then finding the money. That's it. Other than that, you want to leverage all those I would call them low level things like understanding how much the utility costs are, how much it's going to cost to renovate the property. The thing you need to know when you walk into a property is, or your mindset needs to be, I need to get this property for the least amount of money possible. Yeah. That's it. Once you get the property under contract, then you get your contractor in. Matt said a 10-day inspection period. I would probably say, hey, look, if you're going direct to seller, we're going to do a 30-day contract and a 30-day contingency. And that would have a chance for my entire team to go through. So that's my take on it. But
you're right. And what I'm saying is, I've made some mistakes and I've learned
a lot of mistakes.
And he talked about owner financing, or doing that, seller financing. I ended up doing that on 5 of my flips.
And they were all
because I didn't evaluate correctly. My ARVs were off because I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Yeah.
So I ended up owner financing. Now I will tell you the end result was good because we've got good tenants in there. We kept them for cash flow. Banks like that. So now we kept the loan on the books for them, and we're getting cash flow, and it's not a dead asset that's sitting there not generating any income.
Yeah.
So it's good for really everybody in the sense, but that's not what my intention was.
Yeah. But you're smart because the one thing I'll commend Matt on is he may not know everything in the beginning. One thing I know about Matt, for one, he's going to try to get the property for the least amount of money possible. It doesn't matter who it is, if it's on the market, off the market, he wants the property for the least amount of money. And if he can't get it, he's not going to take it. No. The second thing he'll do is he's going to go in with being a lender. He was smart enough to get creative financing. So by buying it with the Harmon lender and then refinancing with the bank, he gives himself so much flexibility because he doesn't have to sell it. A lot of you guys are going to go through a bank initially and you're going to have holding costs. And you're not going to get the interest-only loan, or you're going to have a mortgage every month. His hard money lenders don't need to be paid every month. Yeah. So when he bought it cash, but not using his own cash, and then refinanced it to a bank, he can do whatever he wants to do now. Whether he flips it, holds it, owner finance it, it doesn't matter. That's
right. And what I didn't mention is their hard money is interest only. Yeah. And they're usually 6-month terms. You can renew them. We've renewed several. Yeah. But by that 6-month term, if I still have it for one reason or another, I'll leverage them for that full 6 months most of the time. Yeah. And then I've already most likely got a tenant in place. I've got income coming in. That's an easy sell to a bank. Yeah. Now I go in and I actually will get paid on it because they're going to evaluate it now after my rehab cost. Yeah. I'm going to bring in some profit that's not taxed because it's on a refinance. Yeah. So you look at this. I get probably 60 to 70% of what my projected flip profit was untaxed with a cash flowing tenant. Yeah. It's a no-brainer. Yeah. I mean, it really is. So now I got the best of both worlds, and I don't have to pay taxes on that part of it.
I don't know if you guys are catching what he's saying, because I understand what you're saying, but I don't know if the audience understands what he's saying. He bought it. Let's say you bought a property for $30,000. Mm-hmm. He put in $50,000 worth of work. Now it's worth, let's say, $120,000. Mm-hmm. He's going to get 80% loan to value on the after repair value, the new value of the property, $120,000. He's going to be able to pull out tax-free money that he can pay off his lender will also take for himself to do another deal. And and he probably won't even need the Harmony lender's cash for the next deal, but he's going to use it anyway.
That's
and
right.
now he has maybe $30,000, $40,000 of profit in the bank, so he can fund his team. He's got an acquisitions manager, he's got assistants, he's got, he may at one day get into property manager, I don't know, but he now has money in the bank for him to be able to do different things and continue to work off somebody else's money who's going to make a profit as well as in the Harmony lender.
If you want to scale and grow, if you have the option to not use your own money, don't use it.
Yeah,
especially right now. You see all these videos about wholesaling or flipping or buying real estate with no money without using your own money. That's real. That's not a gimmick. It's not hard. You'll figure it out. I literally, my kids go to bed at 8:00 at night. I sit there every night and watch video after video, read book after book, listen to every podcast, and that's just how I learned. That's how I did it.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know any mentors. I didn't have any yet. And then when I joined a mastermind group, that's blowing it up.
It's the Illuminati. They go on cruises and they do all
We've been to Boston, San Diego. We just went on a 7-day cruise, and all we did was learn about real estate and how to operate a successful business. And it's really grow your business and take yourself out of it.
It's the Illuminati, you guys. It's not a mastermind. Don't let them lie to you. I'm just kidding.
I won't confirm that.
Let's go to the next one.
All right, next question.
One question.
This is a big one. How to value apartment buildings.
Oh, man. Uh-oh. So I don't know if you got the people local where we are in Fort Smith, Arkansas. You guys are going to love this one because none of you know how to do it. They walk in my office or they call me. And like I told you guys, my first year in real estate, I only sold apartment complexes, and people told me that was the stupidest thing in the world to do. And we were pretty successful at it, and that's how I met Matt. You guys don't know how to evaluate apartment buildings. It's based on your net income, your net operating income. So your income minus your expenses, your net operating income is going to determine the value of property. Not what you want per unit, not what the property across the street sold for. It doesn't matter. So
everybody runs different. They all run different.
Yeah, they all run different. And the thing I love about apartment buildings, you're buying it as a business. It doesn't matter about anything else. It matters what's your net operating income. So the only thing that doesn't count towards that is your mortgage, or your debt service, and your capital expenditures would be a roof replacement, plumbing infrastructure changes, electrical, painting a unit, doing a full paint or redoing floors. That stuff doesn't count to your bottom line, but everything else counts. So understanding what your market cap rate is, you can get that from appraisers or talking to your local real estate agents.
Market cap rate, keep that in mind.
You got to know that market cap. So if you got a brand new property in Fort Smith, it's probably gonna be close to a 6.5, 7. If you're doing a 80s, 90s build, probably gonna be about a, would you say, 8 cap?
Yeah, I would say B and C class. That's what you're looking
B
at.
and C class. If you're looking at a D class property, you're probably at a 9, 9.5, 10 cap.
So you want a higher cap because you're going to end up putting more money into it, so you got some more room for your operating expenses.
Exactly. Maintenance. So did you have any and he owns quite a few apartments.
And so from managing my dad's apartments before when I went back into banking and now buying some and evaluating myself, I looked at, and I'd go off cap rate. That's going to be the first number I want to see is what the cap rate is. And then I look and see what value I can add. But Josh is right. Your bottom line is what you're looking at. Fort Smith, this market, what he said cap rate, that's about right. Now you go to Northwest Arkansas, and you're in a different world. I don't even look there anymore, to be honest with you, because I actually want cash flow with my properties. And I'm going to leverage them. We talked about that. I'm going to put debt on it. I'm going to leverage it. I'm not going to stick all my cash into there, even if I had it. So
explain what a cap rate is real quick.
So capitalization rate is your net income divided by the value or purchase price. And so it's going to give you a proportionate number, like he said, percentage-wise. So I have a MAP cap rate. I mean, I know what my cap rate is. Yeah. And so what I'm looking for, I don't buy A class, which is your newer stuff. That's your new construction. That's where you're talking about 6 to 7%. And that's usually guys that either have cash or it's big companies that are coming in, buying them, so publicly traded companies are buying stuff like that and guys building them. And then you're talking about B and C class, which is to me is a sweet spot. You're looking at 8 to 9 cap if you're lucky. And so I honestly, if it's below an 8, I won't even look at it. If it's an 8, I'll look to try to get it at a 10, at a 9. That way I have solid cash flow and, for your property, because it is a business. It's not a single family house. Now you're looking at a big scale of an operation, whether you're at 10 units or looking at 200 units.
Let me ask you another question. So we're in a market where you said, like Northwest Arkansas, you're just not buying those cap rates, 6, 5, 7% cap rates for, C and D class stuff. It's hard to make sense of it. How do you make sense of a deal that has a lower cap rate, but the rents, are under $100 market value? You only need $1,000 into the
So if you're looking at something with a smaller cap rate, but it's maintenance free because it's newer. Yeah. Now you just talked about B and C, even D class being at those. Man, your only deal is, hey, you got some value add, and what's the appreciation in the market? Yeah. Because now you're obviously buying for appreciation and value, and Northwest Arkansas, barring a market crash, a bubble, the market's going up. They're just building and building and building, and maybe they overbuild again.
But jobs are coming.
And maybe it happens, but he's right. More jobs, and it's all growing outside of Northwest Arkansas. So everything looks solid, and you're going to buy on appreciation and value. Yeah. You're going to buy for your net worth to really climb up there in the next 3 to 5 years. And you can always look at how can you run it more efficiently than the person before. If they're running it 100% efficiency.
There's no upside.
If there's no upside, that's what you're looking for. Upside. Yeah. What can you do to add value?
So can you make sense of buying let's say, for example, because we're getting close to the end, so we're going to wrap this question up. Yeah. Let's just say you're buying a C-class property at 7.5 cap. You're overpaying for the deal. You're overpaying for the deal. It's 50 units, but they're $100 under market rent. And you could probably realize half of that without doing anything. Just coming in and being more efficient with management. Yeah. Is that something that you would
Yes, absolutely. So if there's value add there in one way or the other, whether you think you can save on insurance, get rents up, or have cheaper or more efficient property management, absolutely. Then you can look at that B and C class sweet spot and know that you can turn that thing into a 9 or 10 cap.
Even A class though.
And now you're looking at 2 years down the road doing a refinance on that property and just watch the money flow in. Because you've upped that value so much.
And the good thing about what he's saying is, a lot of people are going to buy on a cap rate, but let's just say you're buying on a 6% cap rate. You have to factor in that you have to put your mortgage on top of that. So let's just say the 6% cap rate, they're only netting, $20,000 a year, but your debt is $17,000 a year. You're making $3,000 a year.
That's right. If you're doing full 75 to 80% debt, 6%, that's about breaking even. You're going to have a negative month if you have some maintenance issues.
No, you're going to have a negative month from day one. You're going to have a negative month from day one. That's the real, right?
So that's your number. That's kind of what you're looking at. So,
and that's how you have to come in and add value, have a full business plan, and going back to house flipping. Whether you're doing house flipping, wholesaling, apartments, you have to have a team in place that can realize that upside. So you need to get quotes from your insurance company and find out that they're paying $3,000 more a year in insurance. You need to figure out from taxes. You need to figure out what the other properties paying in taxes, so you can maybe go to the city and dispute it and maybe get the taxes lower.
That's exactly right. Great point, because there's so many ways you can add value. That's a great point. I can evaluate a single family house in 5 minutes. Yeah. When it comes to a multifamily property, 20 units or more, even 10, you've got to take some time. You really got to dig into that. That's why they have extensive, I guess when the marketing material, when you get it from a broker or whoever you're getting it from. So you really want to get all the details, and you always, I'll give them a helpful tip. When you look at a pro forma, always make sure it's actuals.
It's a lie.
Don't look at a broker pro forma because it's crap.
What?
It's crap.
What you saying?
Look for that number that says actual P&L. That's what you're looking for. I've not been burned because I never pulled a trigger on one, but I did my homework. And so me and my dad used to look at them all the time, and we literally throw it out the door, and I would make my own. And so I got good enough to where I stole a formula and I made it my own, and that's what I use since, I guess it's been 5 years now. I've been using that formula.
Yeah. So. Well, you're doing quite well. You bought some properties from me, and it's a very quick process because he just puts it into the calculator. Yeah. And whatever comes out is, hey, look, this is my initial offer, and this is where I want to be. Worst case scenario, if I can't get in between there, I need to move on, because this is what I think my construction costs are going to be. This is where I think I get the taxes to. This is what my insurance is going to be. This is where I think the units can go, and I want to realize half of that, because if I take 100% of it, I won't be able to sell it. So sometimes when you're buying these properties, you need to figure out, hey, look, this is where I think the high end, the cap is, or the full valuation of this property. If I did all the work, maybe I do half of that, so then I can turn around and sell it in 3 years, and somebody else can realize that other half.
That's right.
So
big. You talked about earlier. Big to have a team. Now you have a network of people that can help you in this. You'll need that network when evaluating those properties. I know we're cut short on time. We got one more question.
We're not doing the last one.
We can answer it really fast.
Okay.
Let's do the simplified, dumbed down version for everybody. So the last question is what is wholesaling?
Okay. That's an easy one.
It's simple as this. And I'll let Josh explain his own words too.
Yeah.
You get a property under contract. All you're looking for now is an end buyer. You assign that contract, and that assigns all rights and equitable interest over to that end buyer, and all you are is the middleman. Just like you're wholesaling any type of property. If you're wholesaling, shirts or clothes or cars, you do the work on the front end. You find the buyer. It's 1-page assignment contract, and they literally take that contract, and that is now inherited to them. So you can explain it in your words. It's as simple as that.
That would be my definition as well. I mean, always check with your check the state laws.
Yes.
Because I don't think it's illegal anywhere to wholesale, but
there's gray areas.
Yeah, there's some gray areas, and there's some terminology in certain real estate laws that make it sound like you're brokering a deal.
That's right.
So you need to just be
make sure your contracts are read by an attorney always, and everything's good. We always go with title. We always go to title companies, make sure everything's clear, and so we kind of double check everything. So that was awesome.
That was great. I appreciate it. That was a good first one. So I mean, we are looking for sponsors, of course. We have a couple, which is his company, my company, and what was the third one?
Megaphone Pro Solutions, putting on the production for our show.
Yeah, they're doing great. I mean, this is the most preparation I've done for a podcast, so we're putting a lot of time and energy into it. We love to have sponsors on. One thing that we are doing is we're supposed to be drinking alcohol.
That's right.
But we didn't really have any good alcohol. This is the cheap stuff. So, I'll let him drink it. There you go. I'll let him drink it. We're looking for sponsors, whether it's I don't know. We'll reach out, and you can reach out to us as well if you'd like to sponsor our show. We'd love to have. We would love to continue to do this, and obviously this stuff takes time and money. And if you want to be a part, please be a part. We'd love to have you be a part of it.
Absolutely. Nope, that's it, man. Okay. I look forward to the next one. I've been waiting for this for a while now. And I'm glad to partner with you, man.
I appreciate it, man.
All right.
Okay. Well, thank you. We'll see you guys next time. We're going to do this every Tuesday. Is that correct?
Yep.
We're going to drop these every Tuesday. And just continue to support us. We appreciate it. We're going to provide a lot of value. We need you to participate with questions.
That's right.
So please drop some questions below.
Facebook page. We got our Facebook page rolling. We're going to have some marketing coming out. Just get ready. It's coming.
Yeah. So give us some questions. We love to answer them. And we'll see you guys next time.